Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. How is it going? I'm going to take a sip of my beer while we wait for people to start coming in. Got the nice NWO music.
It's so nice.
It's perfect. On Instagram, I've said this before, but wrestling Instagram is maybe the best thing ever. It keeps me on Instagram.
I wrote to Stone Cold Steve Austin the other day. He didn't write back.
He didn't write. Oh,
somebody reposted like an old video of Stone Cold ET going through a drive-through.
Yeah.
And I was like, please tell me you know about Stone Cold ET, and he didn't get a response. I'm assuming he knows about it. He has to.
Yeah.
Stone Cold ET was like 10 years ago.
There's so much to it. Like WWE signs, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah,
it's fucking incredible.
It's like a copyright infringement nightmare.
Like when they had the Triple H, it had Hunter Hearst Homo on it. Like it's just like a bunch of signs like that. It's incredible. It's my favorite thing. Yeah, now I'm starting to see people coming in. Wow, I didn't even announce this, so we're already getting people in here. What's going on, everybody? We got Womb Raider in here. We got David J, Mr. Leal, Frightening Me. By the way, if you guys haven't joined the Discord, join the Discord. I'm trying to grow that guy. That one over there. That guy. What the fuck am I talking about? Discord. I know the last one, you guys started organizing and forming militias. Like, what the fuck's going on over here? And they kicked us off. No, I'm kidding. I don't know why they kicked us off originally of Discord. All of a sudden, people were writing me on Instagram. They're like, what happened to the Discord? And I went in there because I hadn't been on in a while. And it was completely deleted. They didn't even say, like, oh, you violated one of our rules, which I didn't know they had rules on Discord. I really don't understand what Discord is. It's just like a chat thing. But yeah.
There's only one show that when I watch the Matt and Blonde show, they do like Discord. They do like 10 different fucking things simultaneously.
Yeah.
And the two people who are on that, they're not even in the same state.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't even know how they keep up with all that shit.
I can't keep up with anything now.
We need a producer.
We need a producer. Oh, we got a producer. You could be our producer.
You could be our producer. He looks like he'd be a producer on a fucking podcast, actually. It's kind of perfect.
Off camera is my oldest son, who lives in Dallas. He's here visiting. We were just in Baton Rouge, where we went to LSU, and then we came back here and went to Texas State, showing him around schools. So, I know this is really interesting to you guys, but yeah. Baton Rouge was basically Disney. I was the only white guy there. Or Mexican. There's Mexicans out there. It was all black, which isn't a bad thing. It's nice. There's diversity, but that diversity doesn't include white people.
Why would it?
Yeah.
White is the absence of color.
Yeah, there it goes. So how's it been going, Adam? It's good to see you. What did I see? I saw you last week with your new barbershop. How's that going?
My new barbershop is going very, very well.
Yeah.
We basically hate everyone, and we're a bunch of assholes, and we don't care if everyone likes us, and we hate everyone who likes us, and everyone's gay, and we hate you.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's awesome. If anyone's in Austin and you want to come get a haircut from me, go to Briarwood, BRIARWOOD.gloss, as in glossy, genius, as in genius.com. Briarwood.glossgenius.com. That's how you can make an appointment with me at my shop. I'm right on the river.
Yeah,
downtown.
Riverside area. Riverside, I-35. It's really nice. I liked it a lot.
Thanks.
Yeah, that fucking chair, though. God damn.
Yeah, it's nice. I have a beautiful antique barber chair.
Yeah. Yeah, so we did that. I didn't even plan on doing a show. I completely forgot we're doing a show this week. but we're here. And it's just been a busy week. What's going on? Just like nothing going on with Trump. Oh, Julian Assange is out of jail, which is fun. But the crazy shit about all that is, like, they forced him to delete all the DNC stuff. So like
he's got to have copies somewhere. I'm sure he's giving copies to
100%
a bunch of people. The debate is this week.
Oh, the debate.
Does anyone know? Anyone out there know exactly when exactly the day of the debate is? I don't know, but I want to watch that shit.
Oh, I saw it on HBO Max. On HBO Max, they're promoting it.
Really?
Yeah, because I guess it's on CNN, and Sagar and all those dudes were talking about how they're like, they won't let us broadcast it. Like, okay, like they're like making it sound like CNN was like trying to attack them. Like, it's their shit.
Yeah,
like, you should know that. If I can't put anything else on, like,
it's like watching a sports game.
Yeah,
where
like,
they'd say like this is property of Major League Baseball and blah 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 blah. You can't just. I mean, you can clip it later and then comment on it, but you can't fucking just
Yeah, I guess the whole.
Just do what Crowder does. Just watch it play by play and just comment on it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we would do for the football games when I worked with Drinking Bros.
It's Sagar.
Yeah.
I'm going to change his name right now. Your new name. What's his last name?
Ingetti.
Oh, my God. His new name is Marty Jannetty. That's his new name.
Okay.
Marty Jannetty.
I like it better because it doesn't sound like what he is.
Yeah, but anyone can be a Marty. That's my...
Marty's a good name.
I mean, I don't think it's a great name, but I think it's... I think anyone could be a Marty.
I like Marty. What's a great Marty? What
Marty McFly.
There you go. I knew you were going to go with Marty McFly because that is one of the greatest movies ever made, Back to the Future. But does anyone really know why? What is the big issue with this CNN thing? Are they letting other people broadcast it except for smaller channels? Even though Breaking Points is pretty big, they have like 1 million subscribers on YouTube, but they're like making it sound like it's like where they're trying to attack smaller, like, independent.
Well, it's probably going to be the only debate, so they're going to milk it for all it's worth.
Yeah,
I don't get it either, dude. It's mind-boggling.
Because it's mind-boggling to you, yeah.
Well, you just wonder like how many drugs they're gonna put into Joe Biden, because that dude is not alive, and that's not really a hot take. Everyone's saying that, but like I'm kind of interested to see how he will handle a debate, if they're gonna like send in like one of the Joe Biden body doubles, because there's different ones. And they don't really, there's some that don't look like him.
Yeah, I think they're going to do like a deep fake Biden, personally.
Yeah.
Because they're not even going to be in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
So.
They're not going to be in the same room.
No crowd. I think they're going to be in a different room.
What? I don't know about any of this. There's no crowd?
No, I know there's no crowd for sure. There may not be. I don't know if that's 100% confirmed. They're not going to be in the same room, but.
Oh, man, I'm way out of the loop.
The rules for the debate have fluctuated from my barely paying attention assessment.
I don't know why they don't do it like on a podcast. I know a lot of people have kind of been floating around him going on Joe Rogan and like them just kind of talking out issues. Like that, I would watch that. Like it feel like the debates are pointless. They don't really do anything.
You can't do that unless you can't have. You have to have pre-planned questions. Mm-hmm. You can't just sit there and Joe Rogan be like, "So, what do you think about aliens?"
Yeah,
it's like it'll be a fucking. It would be the end of America if they had the debate goes on the Joe Rogan Experience.
It would be annoying.
Why are you gay?
He would just be getting. Joe Rogan's been like on this whole thing where it's not really a new thing, but where a comedian will tell him something funny and he just won't acknowledge it, or he'll take it too serious. And I don't know, like he takes
it literally.
Yeah, he takes everything literal.
He's doing a thing.
Yeah.
I can't be convinced. I'm convinced he's doing a thing.
Yeah.
That's like his new thing where he's just like, so what you're saying is that the chicken crossed the road for a reason that would be other than
He'd be like,
normal chicken activities. And then you're like, thanks, Joe.
he's like,
Way to bring down the room.
but why would the chicken do that? Why would he do that?
Why are chickens crossing roads?
Yeah.
Where is this? Is this Hawaii?
Yeah.
Maybe the chicken is, dinosaurs are chickens. Did you know that? They're birds. Have you ever see Jurassic World?
Everyone's just they'll just be logging out. They're like, what is this?
Yeah. And Trump and Biden would just be sitting there just confused.
Yeah, Trump would be like, what is this? He's like, all right, cool. All right. Can we talk about something?
It'll be 3 hours of that. It'll be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. I guess I'll watch it. I don't know. It is what it is. It's like the last time they debated was very entertaining. Like they were basically talking about fighting each other, and Trump was like going a little too hard in the first debate in what was that 2020? Mm-hmm. It was very weird.
He doesn't need to go hard this time.
Yeah.
And I think Joe Biden is going to go really hard, and he's just gonna look like a loud, belligerent ass. Like how people see Trump. Mm-hmm. But Trump has he has his record and Joe's record. And he's like, we can go side by side.
Yeah.
Because people are just like, oh no, what is a Trump presidency gonna look like? And it's like, well, we already saw that for 4 years and fucking nothing happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a pandemic happened, a fake pandemic. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and but it's gotten much worse. Like I just got groceries the other day, and every time I go get groceries, it's at least $300. It's fucking crazy.
And everything is so expensive now.
Everything's expensive.
Like, and you can't even watch pornography in Texas anymore.
To be honest with you, there are a lot of gay guests on this show.
People will figure it out. Like we'll figure out anything.
Oh, this is the one I wanted.
You like watching people get fucked for free?
Gio doesn't have the headphones, so he doesn't hear any of the soundboard stuff. We have a soundboard, and we just get quiet. He's probably like, what's going on over there? Oh, yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be weird.
If you had headphones on, listening to the live stream, you can probably hear.
Yeah,
but there'll be a delay probably.
Yeah, he probably doesn't care. Yeah, but it's gonna be a wild show. It's gonna be a wild show because of this election season. I'm not saying this show. I mean, this show can get wild, but I'm saying the show that we're watching, America. Is this the last act of America? That's what a lot of people are hinting at right now. Is this the end? Is there gonna be? You even drinking our what is the whiskey called again?
This is Blackened. Well, the company's called Blackened. This is their Kentucky.
No, don't talk about them. They're not sponsored. Fuck them.
Bourbon whiskey. This is the Wes Anderson collaboration bottle.
It is very tasty. Very tasty.
It's good. It packs a wallop.
Yeah. Yeah, but what I've noticed about this election season is first off, there's not a lot of nuance. It's weird. Like everyone that I talk to on the left, like I have people that are close to in my family, not living here or like back home, they're very left leaning. Mm-hmm. So they're convinced, this is what they tell me, they're convinced if Trump becomes president that he's going to start throwing everyone in jail.
Who?
So, I don't know who he's throwing in jail. Maybe the Hunter Biden. I don't know. Like Hunter Biden, what did he get arrested for? He was for having a gun illegally next to a school.
Yeah, wasn't he found? He was found guilty for that, but
the real crime was all the shit he was doing in Burisma. So he's doing all these illegal dealings. They're like, well, who cares? That's his son. That's not Joe Biden. But I think we're gonna get a lot more information about that. And then there's that like Breitbart. I know it's Breitbart, so I don't know how legit this is, but they're saying that the CIA was kind of covering all that the Hunter Biden laptop stuff. Mm-hmm. So like they colluded to influence an election. That's treasonous. So if that is a true story, because I haven't completely read into the story yet, if that's true, then that's what they think that Trump's doing. And I'm not like a Trump guy, even though I have this Trump flag behind me that we got from the last podcast I work for. Well, I don't think they care. Like
you talk like a fag.
I know Drinking Bros, like they get all these gifts, and they just, if they don't want to use them, they just kind of leave them out on like a metro rack, and they tell the people that come in, like, yeah, if you want, you can just take one of these T-shirts. You can take one of these flags that someone sent to us. But yeah, so if this all comes out, like they're saying that Trump, the CIA was colluding with Joe Biden, that's a bad look. That's a really bad look.
It's a bad look, but the public has absolutely no idea about the CIA. You might as well be talking about flat Earth or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, right? When you start bringing up CIA, they're like, oh, okay, here he goes.
It's like the CIA killed John F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
That's like public knowledge. Mm-hmm. That was something that was briefly announced.
Yeah.
There was like, today, I don't know, who's, Aaron Rodgers didn't get vaccinated. Also, the CIA killed JFK. Hey, guess what, everybody? The new movie from The Rock. They're like, the trailer is here. We're going to do a deep analysis of it. Like
wait. Go back to the part where they're talking about how they
and then
killed
a commercial. New commercial for Amazon Fresh.
Yeah.
2 lesbians who live together get their groceries delivered to them. Commercial. Your brain is wiped. You don't know what the fuck just happened, and then we move on with the rest of the news cycle.
Yeah, I'm reading.
That's my opinion. I don't think anyone knows anything. People kind of know the FBI, but people don't understand the CIA. That's my opinion. And I think CIA and FBI kind of ride that. They're just like, dude, no one knows anything about us because they're not around enough. People just say the letters from time to time, but no one really, there's not a face to go with it. No one at the FBI has like a Twitter that anyone follows or gives a fuck about. So anytime someone's like, the CIA colluded with the Biden administration, people are just like, is that bad? No one knows.
Yeah, it's like, a thing we haven't talked about in a while is like COINTELPRO. Like I try to explain this to people that are on the left when you talk about January 6th, and they're like, oh, those guys are treasonous. They should be in prison. They did blah 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 blah. And I was like, and I tell them like, you don't think that the FBI created a riot there? You don't think that's crazy? Like, what? Just think about what.
No, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. But COINTELPRO, they did that with like the Chicago 8, and they infiltrated these like civil rights movements, and they would make them violent. So they did this in order to make them look really bad. I was like, you don't think they would do this with January 6th? Like these guys are all like pro like gun rights guys, pro Second Amendment guys, and they stormed the Capitol. And none of them had guns? Like, that's crazy to me. Like,
yeah, all the gun people didn't have guns.
Yeah.
That's not weird to anybody.
That's very strange.
The gun people didn't have guns.
And they're like, we were this close from losing democracy. Like, how? You think they would just like...
Good.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
You boys ready for your cock meat sandwich?
The January 6th one it baffles me because it makes people that that only watch the news, that only watch CNN, they only watch the late night shows.
Yeah,
there still are people like that. It's crazy when you see it. When people
I got to tell you, dude, from me being in the profession that I'm in, I actually had a conversation with one of my regulars today, and he was describing going home and there's a certain his sister. I think he said his sister and his brother-in-law, whatever. They're very religious now, and they were sitting around the table. They were playing this game called, I think it was called Preferences.
Yeah,
like a board game, like a card game, and basically you draw a bunch of cards and then you put in order who you prefer or what you prefer in order. And like and like one of them got Trump, and then his boyfriend put Trump last, and then they got into this kind of conversation where they're just like, well, I think Trump's really great, and he's like, oh my God, I can't believe my family is becoming a bunch of Trump people. And I told him, like, hey man, don't push your family away.
Yeah,
if you can avoid it. Like, I'm like, Trump people and Biden people are very much into hyperbole, just grand statements that are just sort of ethereal and whatever the fuck. But I'm like, you need to talk to your family issue by issue. And then you'll realize that we're all kind of moderate in a way. Of course. There's a few things that people are there's just no black and white. I mean, sorry, there's no gray area. People certain things are very black and white, like abortion, for instance. But it's like, for the most part, I think, I'm always searching for this kind of grand unifying thing that'll kind of bring people together peacefully. And it sounds very conservative, but I'm just like, a working modern day approach to like the Constitution, because laws are based, I mean, that's like, yes, it's religious based, but also it's like, you wouldn't want to be censored or have your speech controlled, even though if you're on the left, your speech is controlled, you probably don't realize it, and you just regurgitate whatever you hear.
Say the same things. Yeah,
but it's like find where you guys have like common ground, and then you're more, I think, in a civil world, people are more likely to respect the fact that people happen to be rather very religious, or they're atheists, or don't like capitalism, whatever. And then you just kind of you find the common ground, and the fact that your family, you can kind of be like, oh, I can take this little microcosm, this little situation going on, sitting around with my family right now, and apply that to coworkers and maybe people on the internet or something, and you won't go so fucking hard on shit, just dying on hills every fucking day. And you'll be a happier person. And this guy I was talking to today, he's like, I am on TikTok too much. I'm like, yeah, you should not be on TikTok so much. Like, maybe you should talk to some of your fucking crazy religious conservative relatives, and you don't have to fucking buy into everything they say at all whatsoever, because, I mean, you're gay. Yeah. But, like, let them know that you love them, even though you guys are different in very, very personal ways. But it's okay. It's okay. That's why we have holidays. You know what I mean? We all get into a room, and then we realize, like, oh, dude, fucking, Uncle Andrew, even though he's a closeted homosexual alcoholic, he's a sweet guy. Yeah. I actually have an Uncle Andrew. Yeah. Closeted homosexual alcoholic. They found him dead in his apartment. So, I mean, he's a bad example. But
he's like, thanks, Adam. You could now wait. He was in the closet.
He can't hear me over the flames from hell, because Uncle Andrew's definitely in hell. I'm just saying. Yeah. But on Earth, in Earth terms, Uncle Andrew was all right. He wasn't bothering nobody. Yeah. Although I think he was a potential Jeffrey Dahmer. I can't prove that. Yeah. I can only go by what I know.
Jeffrey Dahmer is very likable.
Very cool. Yeah. He's from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where Happy Days is from.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know.
Talk like a fag, and your shit's all retarded.
I don't even know where I was going with that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Like, the temperature of the room, I feel, can always be brought down before, like.
Yeah, like
I think we need to kick our soapboxes to the side because no one uses soapboxes anymore.
Yeah,
we just buy soap, liquid soap.
Bring back soapboxes.
You know, you should be able to say your piece and discuss it.
But like, imagine.
But if it starts with your family, you can spread that out to the rest of the world. Also, obviously, there's coworkers and shit like that where you just would never bring up certain things because you're just like, I'm not gonna kick the fucking hornet's nest if I don't need to.
But like, imagine like you have it was Thanksgiving back in when Trump was president, like in 2019,
in 1985,
and imagine you get into an argument like he said Kofifi, and then like that uncle dies the next day.
I'm like, good.
Yeah. But imagine get into an argument where you won't talk to these people, and the last thing was an argument about something that Trump said or something that Biden said. Mm-hmm. Like that's fucking stupid. Mm-hmm. Like none of that stuff matters.
That means not welcome.
Like you're getting into fights about politics. That's why when I talk to like my brother or my mom or my dad, when politics come up, we always kind of just do the same thing. Like, okay, yeah, sure. Like we kind of just brush it off. And like they know, they think I'm fucking crazy. Like this.
You
stuff
brush it off.
I brush it off because I don't want to argue with my family. Mm-hmm. So like I don't want to. I want to be able to talk to them because I don't live in the same city as them. So I don't want to. I'd rather argue with a complete stranger or someone that I don't like that much. That's just how I am.
You understand that that's the problem?
What, me? I'm the problem. Because
not that you specifically are the problem, but that is generally the problem. Is like if it's someone you don't know, it's easier to be like, well, I don't know them. Fuck them. You know what I mean? So I like to embrace people and be like, hey, just grab them by the shoulders. Be like, hey, we are not enemies, dude. I am not your enemy.
Yeah.
Okay? I am not.
We're like, why are you touching me?
Because I like to touch men.
Yeah, but it's. I wonder if this was all by design. It's like a whole chaos thing where you want everyone to be fighting. It seems like it's manufactured.
Of course it is. Of course it's manufactured. It's not natural.
Yeah.
It's not natural to hate your neighbor. Mm. It's not.
True. Yeah, like I go out and see my neighbor. I have no idea who they vote for. I have an idea. Because they all have a bunch of guns. We live in Texas.
I never want to assume, but every house I go by that has an American flag out front, I'm like, I think the statistics. Mm-hmm. I think I'm making a good statistical observation at that point.
And that's the thing about Trump supporters. Like they got this bad rap where we're like, oh, they're in a cult, blah blah blah. But like I get along with Trump.
Cults are cool.
Yeah, cults are kind of cool.
Cults are cool. No one talks about people who are not in cults.
Yeah.
Okay, cults. Branch Davidians, Planet Fitness. Yeah. Cults are cool.
Cults are cool. The Branch Davidians were
the only
cool.
people who talk shit on cults are people who jealous. They're just jealous because they're not in a cult.
Yeah, and like when you look into the Branch Davidians, we've talked about Branch Davidians a lot. They had the right idea. Like they weren't doing anything bad. There were speculations that David Koresh was molesting kids, but there is no proof of that. But if he did, he's the worst. He's a piece of shit. But everyone else there, like they weren't molesting kids. They were just like, hey, we're just forming our own community out here in Waco. We're gonna have our own food, our own water, our own electricity. Like they had everything. They had that shit down pat. And
in fact, there's information to the contrary where it's like people who are probably the opposite of him more likely to be molesting kids.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, like they hate him. They're like, oh, he's molesting kids. They're like, well, why is FBI? Why are they molesting kids? And why are they protecting those people?
Why are you gay?
Yeah, why are you gay? They protect pedophiles. But they went over there because David Koresh was getting guns through gun shows. And like the thing about that, like they said he obtained some of them illegally. But
what did they get him on like a Randy Weaver type of thing? And then just kind of made up the rest of the accusations.
I
and
think
went
so.
In guns hot.
Yeah, like the Randy Weaver one was like the sawed-off shotgun was like 2 inches too short.
That was a bullshit setup.
It was so fucked up. And I've been looking into like a lot of the ATF stuff because I'm doing some research on my next episode about Operation Fast and Furious and Operation Gunwalker, the one where they're
Gunwalker, Texas Ranger.
yeah, Gunwalker Texas Ranger.
It's about a gun who has a beard and knows karate.
You're the fucking reason this country's going down the drain.
I'm gonna get another beer. You want one? Are you good?
I'll get another one.
Okay.
So
I'll be right back.
All right, so I'll keep talking. So
Hold on, let me switch cameras.
yeah, this would be an empty screen. So
Oh Jesus. You want to send my seat? Want to do the switcher?
he doesn't want to be on camera.
I can get you a cool mask.
Oh
I
yeah.
get my Halloween mask from the Halloween episode, the green monster mask.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's fun.
So so this whole thing with the ATF and Operation Gunwalker, that's not the real name for it, but Fast and Furious. That's the best way to describe it. So they were doing it was for straw purchases, and this was happening like in Arizona, and it was out of a gun shop, and these guns would be the ATF told them to the ATF told these gun shops to sell these guns so they can start selling them to like these cartel members or not just cartel members, just anyone just illegally buying these guns. And so they wanted to be able to track them, but they had like military style weapons that they're letting go into Mexico. But instead of arresting these people when they would actually commit the crime, they would let these guns keep walking. And this is, for anyone that knows about federal agencies, everyone kind of knows that the ATF fucks up more than any other agency. Have you ever heard about I think his name is Jay Dobbins. He was the undercover guy who went undercover with the Hells Angels. Yes, that guy.
I read the was it his book or just a book that he's in? It was called Angels of Death. Mm-hmm. And it actually no, he didn't write it. It's a book called Angels of Death. Look it up, guys. It's very good. It's interesting sort of because it bounces between multiple stories through different timelines of shit that went on with the Hells Angels. There was one in Montreal where they were basically just just fighting each rival games was just straight up bombs. There was the Jay Dobbins story where he went undercover and it's good shit. It's good shit. I know there's been some like programs made where like Jay Dobbins has like, you know, been a kind of talking head. They do reenactment stuff like that. But yeah, Angels of Death is a really good book.
He actually spoke at it was in the funeral or it was one of, because you remember that Border Patrol agent that got killed by the cartel members that were using the Fast and Furious guns. He was like one of the guys that was like he was like the head dude talking about it. Like he's still very involved with this, and he wanted to expose some of the wrongdoings of the ATF, because the ATF, they got caught lying about this operation, and they knew that was their operation was to let these guns keep walking. They were instructed not to arrest these people, but yeah. So the ATF, they fucked up with the Hells Angels because Jay Dobbins' house got like firebombed. They tried to blow his house up with his kids in there. Mm-hmm. They ended up surviving. That Border Patrol agent was killed with Fast and Furious guns. Then you had Waco. Then you had Ruby Ridge. It's just they're just a massive fuck up. I just don't know how you can keep them around. And at this point, you're just like, this stuff is all planned. Like, how could they be this bad at their job? There's no way. It's impossible.
Well, I imagine if you're an intelligence agency, your level of the scale of your efficacy can slide freely side to side, where it's just like, hey, man, this is the intelligence we got. You guys, you guys in the government use us to gather information and intelligence about criminals, and rival politicians and,
Yeah.
and civilians who don't know they're being monitored. And, you know, if something goes sideways with that information, that's not our fault. We just gather information and every once in a while serve warrants, kill civilians, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know,
Yeah.
and I think they're given that leeway. Killing presidents, you know.
That. So when I'm reading these books about Fast and Furious, they're breaking down the ATF, how the ATF was like kind of goofy in the beginning, but becomes like more of a bureaucracy by the time it gets to Fast and Furious, which happened like in 2009. No, in 2011. It was Obama. Oh, and Obama, like his administration was like covering it up. Like they had Eric Holder. Eric Holder knew all the shit was going on. He said he didn't know about it, and then later on he said he did.
Eric Holder won't fight me, by the way.
Fuck him.
I've been contacting his office for years at this point. I'm like, that guy has to fight me because he looks like Bill Cosby's dad in The Cosby Show.
He does.
Like,
I forgot about that. Holy shit.
I'll curb stomp that dude.
He, like, it's one of the most hilarious congressional hearings you'll ever see, because he got
your shit, Nick.
he had what was it? He was held in contempt because he wouldn't bring any of the evidence or any of the things they were telling him. He had to bring documents, and he was like, "Oh, we can't do that because it's under investigation." So these people can say, like, in order to hide some of the shit that the government's doing, they can say it's still under investigation, so they won't release any of it. And eventually they held him in contempt, and they're like, you have to bring these documents because a Border Patrol agent just got killed. And he brought these heavily redacted documents. They're basically all black. Like there was nothing, it was like a white paper and everything on the paper was redacted. And they're like, what is this? Why would you bring this? This is a joke.
Yeah.
And it's just them laughing in our face.
Yeah, there's no accountability. The only thing that this is all going to amount to,
Yeah.
I think ultimately is going to be, and I'm not saying specific people of any kind. I think at some point we're going to walk right into assassinations.
To be honest with you, there are a lot of gay guests on this show, but it ain't nothing.
That's what I think is going to happen. At some point, people are just going to be like, fuck this, let's kill these people in their house.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to get bad. Because, I mean, if Waco, it radicalized a lot of people. Even Timothy McVeigh, even though that has a lot of questions. Which, by the way, I'm going to do an episode on Oklahoma City bombing.
Great flat top.
Yeah, great flat top. Great Bradley driver, too, in his...
In fact, they won't sell you a copy of the Turner Diaries if you don't have a flat top.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that. That's an actual law.
That's a sad thing about me not being able to grow hair. I cannot get that flat top so I can get Turner Diaries. Kind of ruins everything. But yeah, so this country has like a history of these agencies just completely fucking over its own citizens. Like they're over there, like, or even of course we fuck over other countries, like during the drug war, like what we did to Colombia, and now what we're doing to Mexico. And the fact that you would be giving guns to Mexican cartels, and then saying, and this is the reason why they did Fast and Furious. It was they blamed the gun stores, even though they told the gun stores they're like, don't worry, this is all part of the operation. We're gonna go catch these bad guys and keep all the guns from going into Mexico. But what the Washington Post wrote an article basically blaming all the gun stores. They're like, the gun stores are the problem. They're the problem. This is why we have
the reason this country's going down the drain.
There's a reason why there's a gun problem here, and they pointed their fingers right at the gun stores. So if you don't have gun stores, how are you going to get guns? So this was a
People
direct...
will make them.
This is a direct attack on your Second Amendment rights.
And that's the thing. That's what I think is ultimately going to be the thing. It's like, okay, we'll just get rid of gun stores. Okay, well, what then? We'll get rid of 3D printing. Mm-hmm. what then? Okay, people who know how to machine and mill things, get rid of that equipment. You have to have a license to have it.
Yeah, I have a.
And then next thing you know, fucking everything is controlled. Everything is under lock and key. Everything has an Alexa attached to it. Real quick, we had some ask for questions.
Yes.
And this is a little off topic. Frightening me, opinions on the abyss being the real thing or interdimensional oceans or other dimensions.
Okay.
Have you seen The Abyss?
I haven't.
James Cameron, The Abyss.
I have not actually. I've seen almost every James Cameron movie. I haven't seen that one.
Very, very good film. It takes place in a scientific lab deep down in the ocean, but they find out that there's some kind of anomaly while they're down there. What they find out, there's actually like an underwater alien species down there that takes. It's almost like a T-1000, but doesn't want to kill anybody.
Okay.
But it's made of water, and Ed Harris is in it. Fantastic film. I'd recommend anybody who likes The Abyss, watch The Making of The Abyss.
Okay.
Very easy to find. Go on YouTube, look up The Making of The Abyss. It's the craziest film James Cameron ever made. Crazier than Titanic.
What year was it made?
Late or early 90s.
So was it after Titanic or before?
Before.
Okay.
Titanic is fantastic, though.
Does it hold up? Have you watched it again?
I mean, it's fucking corny and gay and everything, but
yeah.
Just the quality of filmmaking is still there. And that was around the time when fucking James Cameron like got in a submarine alone and went down to the bottom of the fucking ocean.
Okay. So
you know what I mean? And then there's that billionaire guy who made a submarine out of this beer can, and it fucking exploded and he killed a bunch of innocent people. You know what I mean? This is James Cameron. But yeah, The Abyss, like people are in danger constantly making that. They had to build sets where they were just like, okay, we're going to make a set and then fill the set with water and then make waterproof cameras and then shove our actors underwater and almost drown them multiple times. Like it's fantastic.
Okay, this sounds cool.
But do I think The Abyss is a real thing, interdimensional oceans, other dimensions? Yeah, I think if we're ever, I will say this, frightening me, if there's aliens, they're in the ocean.
Yes, that's the thing I want to bring up.
I don't believe in aliens. I want to make that clear. I don't believe in space aliens. I don't believe UFOs are real. I think that UFOs is just military aircraft. That's what I think.
Me too.
I've become obsessed in the past few weeks with the Concorde. And if you guys don't know what the Concorde is, it's an airplane that came out in the 80s, ran through the 90s, and it was decommissioned in the early 2000s. It's basically a fucking plane that looks like it's from Star Wars that goes Mach 2. You go from London to New York City in 90 minutes.
What? That's usually like a 4-hour or 6-hour flight.
So I'm on eBay late at night looking up Concorde things like first class shit, like because it's expensive to take the Concorde.
Yeah,
forks and knives and napkins and ashtrays and all posters and figurines that are in travel agency offices of the Concorde. Like the Concorde was absolutely amazing. I don't know how I got on the Concorde, but I don't believe.
Yeah, you don't believe in UFOs.
Aliens, I don't believe in UFOs. If you saw a Concorde, you'd be like, that's a fucking alien spaceship. I think if there is aliens, it's in the ocean, and it'll. If we do discover them, they'll be completely underwhelming.
Yeah.
Because we're not impressed by fucking anything.
Well, we think it's fake. Like, there's no way you can convince me that if they show an alien and it walks in front of a TV, like in front of a camera, and it's
like in Signs when the little Mexican kid's birthday.
Yeah.
It's just like
I'm
that.
like, no fucking
children,
way.
Vámonos.
Yeah, and Joaquin Phoenix is like,
yeah. Joaquin Phoenix was very dreamy in that movie.
He was dreamy.
I don't know if he went back. He was very young and
that was
very fetching at the time.
That was around the time of Gladiator. He was on there, but
amazing.
He had a great run.
I will say, guys, there is a countdown to Passion of the Christ 2. I just want to, if you guys are not aware of this, 2025, we are getting, Mel Gibson is working on it right now. We got Jim Caviezel as Jesus. We're getting a second Passion of the Christ, and I can't wait.
What is it about? That's what I want to know.
The resurrection.
But where's the violence?
Well, I believe
because
it was in the New Testament.
Extremely violent.
It was in the. I think it was the New Testament where Jesus said, "I come not in peace, but with a sword." So it's gonna be Braveheart. It's gonna be
hell yeah. I hope
it's gonna be violent as shit.
Yeah,
that's what I think it's gonna be. I can't wait.
Coming this summer, Jesus.
Oh my God, Womb Raider with
pissed.
Passion of the Christ 2, double crossed.
Well, fuck yeah, Womb Raider. That's great. That's funny. That's really funny.
You need to contact Mel Gibson right away, sir. Passion of the Christ 2, double cross. I love it.
So, yeah, I want to stay in the alien thing because people love the alien stuff. And yeah, and my brother was actually on the Princeton, the ship that saw the Tic Tac.
Yeah.
So he told me about that like 10 years, like at least 8 years before it was like everyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
He told me about it. I remember we talked about it for like 2 hours on the phone when he was in the Navy. Mm-hmm. And I probably shouldn't say it. Oh, fuck it. It's already out. But I remember him telling me, and he said that like people went outside after they saw this Tic Tac, after they were chasing it with the jet, because he was a radio guy in there.
Radio.
I wonder if I had to edit this out of the YouTube episode. But he was saying that like people went outside to smoke a cigarette to talk about it again, or I don't know about smoking a cigarette. They went outside afterwards, and they said they saw it again, and it shot into the water. Like, they're like, what happened? Did it crash? He's like, no, it drove into the water. So, like, that just shows that these things are underwater.
Well, I mean, this is an old episode. Remember, we had Homeboy, the drone strike operator guy, on the old Patreon.
Yeah.
Patreon.com, guys. You guys got
very old episode. It was a great episode.
Get on patreon.com/skeleton factory. You guys are missing out on a lot if you're not listening and watching that shit. But the dude was basically looked at the Tic Tac footage and was just like, it's probably not a Tic Tac shape.
Yeah.
It's what you're seeing is its heat signature. It could look like anything, but whatever it is, it's probably, I think it's experimental aircraft. Also, you watch like Elon Musk rockets that can launch and then like come back and land themselves right back on the launching pad. I think it's maybe something like that, but it's something that can go under the water because you can shoot fucking missiles from submarines out of the ocean into the air. I think they were like, let's make it so something can come back into the water. I think it's something like that. I think that is the simpler explanation than water aliens. Ooh, yeah. That's not what I think is going on.
I think there could, just like when people talk about Atlantis, they say it's underwater, like, and there's parts of the ocean we just have no idea about. It's impossible to go that deep into the water. I think there's something to that. I think there's a lot more that we don't know about. We don't know anything about our oceans. The ocean's basically full of monsters. It's the most terrifying place on the planet. So like it's
apparently you haven't been to a Waffle House at 4 a.m.
I've seen the videos, but have you seen video? Like I know there's something I was watching with my young ones. We're watching. It was great whites versus sharks, and I'm not great whites versus killer whales. And killer whales are fucking vicious. They're crazy. And they play with their killing. Like they will go up to seals and just throw them in the air, and see their bodies just break on ice. It's fucking mean. Like killer whales are mean.
Whales are assholes. Am I the only one when I was a kid? Their white spot.
Yeah.
Where their eyes are. I thought that was their eyes.
Oh yeah, me too.
I didn't realize that their eye is actually in a little blank. their eyes are somewhere else.
Yeah, like my kids.
I'll
we
be
took
right
them-
back.
Yeah, I took my kids to SeaWorld. The young ones, and they were over there, and they saw, it's not Shamu anymore. It used to be Shamu. There's just like these different versions of killer whales, and they're swimming, and my daughter was like, whoa, she was like so blown away by all this stuff. And then it just started splashing her with water, and it was like forever, fuck these whales. Like, of course she didn't say it that way. Hello. I'm over here talking to myself about killer whales. That's my son Gio over there. Sorry.
I thought that you shrank.
Yeah. He has way more hair than me.
Sean's hairline's looking great.
It is. I wonder what I look like with a wig.
We
Like,
should get you a wig.
I want to wear a wig. I want to see. I never
Do
have.
you guys
want
to see Sean with a wig? We can get him a wig, a powdered wig,
Yeah.
perhaps.
I wonder how I would look with long hair.
You need a fade. We need to get you like you know what? Get you a Steve Harvey wig.
Oh God.
The microphone looks like this. It looks clean.
Yeah. Get one of those black guy kind of little short afros like what Kobe had early on.
Yeah, I think you'd look great in one of those.
Yeah. But so yeah, I believe there's aliens in the ocean.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think. But yeah, back to what we were talking about with like the intelligence agencies, chaos, and all that kind of stuff, and just what people are watching like on the news. It just sounds crazy. Like even forcing. Like I saw something earlier today where people are still angry with the Texas Rangers for not doing a gay pride day. It's just like it's the whole Kramer thing. Like remember he wouldn't wear the ribbon.
Yeah.
Like the AIDS ribbon. He didn't want to wear it. That's basically what they're doing with the Texas Rangers. They're not wearing the ribbon. All they care about is baseball. And
So like, would Nolan
Ryan would not be for that.
would Nolan Ryan be for this?
No, Nolan. I bet you Nolan Ryan beat a gay guy. For
The
being
answer
gay.
is no.
He's beating some quiz. But yeah, so you have all this stuff. They're like forcing it in schools. So, and I know libs of TikTok. I don't know how people feel about about her. I don't remember what her name is, but she's been exposing all this stuff that's going on in schools. And I talked to you about this the other day when we're moving all the stuff into the into the new barbershop. Was just about like homeschooling, because I've been doing a lot of research. I don't know if the listeners, how you guys feel about homeschooling. I'm sure you guys are pro school choice, and I think school choice is the way to go, because you should be able to, if you don't like what the schools are teaching you, if you're forcing this whole agenda, like, yeah, of course being gay isn't wrong. There's nothing wrong with being gay. But when you're forcing an agenda, you're going to make people just fucking hate gay people. And that's what's going to happen.
Why are you gay?
And just like how I don't know if they're violent, but like there's so much pedophilia involved with these activists that are like pushing all this stuff. So
It's the enemy of my enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops. Hey, we're back. I think it's an enemy of my enemy kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's just like, yeah, well, these activists, maybe a few of them are pedophiles, but at the end of the day, they go out there with the signs and the shirts, and they scream about the things we want them to scream about. So, I mean,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It's got me thinking, and I just read like 2 John Taylor Gatto books about like homeschooling, because this guy John Taylor Gatto, I don't know if I'm gonna do an episode on this or it's just something I just want to have in my brain. He's like a teacher that was he was like teacher of the year in Manhattan. So he was teacher of the year in New York City, teacher of the year in New York State. Like, he's this really good teacher over there, and he writes these books about how poisonous our public education system is, and he talks about like how we use this system for schooling. It's this Prussian, because like Prussia was like it's kind of by Germany, like
It's awesome.
yeah. So they had this whole system like back then when Prussia was still a thing, where they would teach kids how to it was just teaching them about authority and like how to be obedient. It didn't really teach them like how to think. Like school should teach you how to think and how to be educated, but the Prussian system taught you how to be obedient. And these same people teamed up with like the Rockefellers, and the Rockefellers, they developed like the new education system. And just thinking about what school is, it doesn't teach you how to think. It like you have to, like it teaches you how to be a prisoner. So you're learning.
Rollerblading faggot.
I mean, I think to a certain extent, what they're shooting for is they're like, we need a certain amount of certain types of people.
Yeah.
So that, roads can be built, prisons can be built, infrastructure can exist.
Yeah.
We can't have a bunch of free thinking fucking people because nothing will ever fucking get done.
Yeah.
So I think what the game they're playing is like, they don't want a country of slaves or a country of like just obedient workers. They're like, we need a lot of obedient workers, but they understand that there's going to be some free thinkers, there's going to be gay activists, there's going to be feminists and stuff like that.
But the system does teach them that. They teach them to be activists. Yeah. And what John Taylor...
That's the problem is like, if you get... They're like, no, that's the opposite of what we want. What we want is we need soldiers. Yeah. We need people to think that like being a soldier is the right thing to do. And if we just don't teach that, then we're just we don't have fucking soldiers. Yeah. And we need to have somebody holding a fucking gun until the fucking robot army gets built. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and basically what this system does, it holds back smart people. Like people that, and I was thinking
like
about
what, Good Will Hunting?
Yeah, like you're not gonna. It holds you back because just think about what like George Bush did, the Leave No Child Left Behind, or something like that. I might have worded that wrong.
It was just No Child Left Behind.
No Child Left Behind. So what it basically did was it held back all the smart kids, and just so these dumb kids can't succeed. Like they had to dumb down everything. It hurts the country in general. So like we're not getting better. Our education system is god awful. And I mean, I was telling you this the other day, is like when you go to high school, everyone kind of clicks up. You have the jocks, you have the goths, you have cheerleaders, blah blah blah. And then when you go to prison, you have cliques. You have the Aryans, the blacks, Mexicans, blah blah blah. So what high school does, it teaches you how to be a prisoner. Like when I was in high school, my school had a race riot. I've never seen that as an adult, ever, except for in high school. I saw someone get stabbed. I saw a guy bring a gun to school. I seen a riot. That stuff never happened as an adult. That stuff does not happen. So it's not preparing you to be an adult. It's teaching you how to be a prisoner. You have to raise your hand to go to the bathroom. You got to stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. You got to learn algebra. What the fuck is algebra for? I've never used algebra.
If you're an electrician, algebra is useful. And we need electricians, by the way. But I think at some point you're going to have like people who rebel. And then at some point you're going to have a lot of those people are going to smarten up. I don't know. I just think it's sort of expand and contract. We have like tons of activism. We have, half the country mad at the other half. And then at some point everything sort of contracts. Yeah. And yeah, you still have like people on the fringes who are really screaming mad. And then people in the mainstream who pretend that they're mad because they get paid to mad. But everyone else is like, we're making money, we're buying houses, we're feeling good.
Yeah.
Fucking TV shows are actually good again, blah, blah, blah. And we're fucking having families and we're going on vacation. Everything's fucking cool. It's just this expand and contract. But the version of expand and contract fluctuate. It's like Doctor Who, where it's like every generation has at least one or two Doctor Who's. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But it's different every time.
Yes.
And it's expanding and contracting. Right now, and also when you're in the middle of it, the expand and contract like seems worse every time, where it's just like, oh my god, everything is becoming trans and fucking there's people rioting in the streets and blah blah. I'm like, that shit's always been going on. It's like, I think we're both old enough to remember this. I remember Reagan getting shot twice.
Yeah.
No one was shooting Obama. No one was shooting Clinton or fucking George W. Bush. You would think, or Trump. Also, I think there's a level of suppression. I think there's attempts on their life all the time, but it's suppressed. Yeah. Kind of like serial killers, where serial killers don't exist all of a sudden in the mainstream. Yeah. But if you follow guys who are collecting serial killer memorabilia and sending it on the internet, they're like, dude, there's more serial killers now. There's literally thousands in every state.
God damn.
Not hundreds, thousands.
Really?
Yeah, it's insane, but you never ever hear about them.
I've never heard that. That's a lot.
And managing that expanding and contracting of like people politically at each other's throats and how it affects culture and media and blah. We're just in a new version of it.
Yeah.
We're in a new version where AI exists and fucking like all your entertainment. There's not 500 channels now. The streaming is fucking infinite. There's millions of things you can watch right now. It's a new version of it now. Mm-hmm. And when you go outside right now, there's fucking nothing going on. There's not robots murdering people. There's not fucking, well, at least in Austin. But it's like most places, the things that you're most afraid of aren't fucking happening.
Gaza there is.
Well, Gaza isn't America.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, if we got to a Gaza level, also, that should be the examination. Why is that happening? Not like the genocide. People like saying genocide because it sounds cool. It's the verbal equivalent of a swastika. Yeah. People will be like, a swastika looks cool. Mm-hmm. A hammer and sickle flag looks pretty cool, but it's what it represents. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's good design. It's good design technique. Yeah. But at the same time,
marketing's incredible.
Marketing's amazing. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, what does it represent? You know, I think right now we're just in that era of like, oh, like imagine being like you went to church when you were a kid. And then you go to high school, and then it's like it's the '60s, and there's hippies everywhere, and there's free love, and everyone's doing acid, and then the president gets killed. Like, imagine being in the '60s. It was probably so crazy. There was an active draft for people. If you were young, there's a good chance they're gonna send you to the other side of the world with a gun in your hand to kill fucking people. You know what I mean? I think there's always an argument where it's just like, the past was way worse.
Except for if you live in Mexico. Mexico's definitely worse now than it's ever been. Like, have you been following all the people that were killed in Mexico, like during this election season? It's an insanely high number. Like
who's getting killed?
The politicians. Every time, like, there's been, like, city council members, there's been people running for president, there's been, like, all these people. I saw this video where this guy, he was, like, saying, like, he was doing one of these campaigns, and this guy was recording it while he shot the guy in the head. It's fucking crazy.
I think Mexico is going to have to be invaded.
Yeah, that's not too far.
Or there's going to be a giant civil war there where a lot of people are going to get killed, and then some sort of allied forces are going to come in and sort of like kind of take over, but sort of reset the that's where the Great Reset is going to happen. People think like Great Reset is going to happen in like first world countries like America. It's like, no. It's going to happen in Mexico.
Yeah.
It's always been that way. It's like if you're gonna reset a country, you do it in shitty countries, and if it's a country worth salvaging, real estate wise, you do that. But if it's a shitty country that has things like oil or whatever, lithium, you basically just like, okay, we need slaves to get the shit out of the ground that we need. But if it's kind of nice, like Mexico, you're just like, okay, let's just fucking murder everyone we need to murder.
Yeah.
And then we fucking just rebuild the fucking country in our own image.
I just don't think it's possible. So check this out. This campaign season. It says Mexico's campaign season has been marred by violence with numerous political candidates and their supporters being targeted by organized crime groups. According to various reports, over 30 political candidates have been murdered during this campaign season. With some dropping out of their races due to death threats or attempted assaults. Family members of candidates and political activists have also been killed. It's fucking crazy what's going on over there. And that's not that far from here. It's literally 4 hours from here. You can get to Mexico in 4 hours. Mm-hmm. And this stuff is happening over there. And they're over here being influenced by global government, our government. Like the lady that won, and everyone's like, oh, the Jewish lady. That I didn't really care.
What Jewish lady? Is there a Jewish lady in charge over there or something?
Yeah.
Does she drive her own car, or does she have like people drive her?
I hope not.
Because we don't like lady drivers.
Lady driver.
Let me see. I want to look it up because it was.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta let places like that implode.
Her name is Claudia.
So that you can have intervention and clean up the fucking mess and reap the reward of it. That's
so check this out.
It's the oldest trick in the book.
So this sounds pretty crazy. So her name's Claudia Sheinbaum. She's a climate scientist and former mayor of Mexico City. Has made history by becoming the first woman and the first person of Jewish heritage to be elected as president. So she's the president of Mexico. She won the election in a landslide, receiving nearly 58% of the vote. Sheinbaum was born to Jewish immigrants from Lithuania and Bulgaria. And
so people who are think that maybe there's a Jewish conspiracy, they're going to feel emboldened.
The climate change stuff, like you got... I mean this is one I haven't I've read about it a little bit, but Jesus, she's a member of the left-wing National Regeneration Movement and has a background in science, having served as a Secretary of Environmental under former President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador. Sheinbaum has been a vocal advocate for environmental issues and has been emphasized the need to address climate change during her campaign. So it's a
Lady driver.
So this thing's been taken over by like the UN. So
that's what I'm saying. They're going to implode from within, and then we're gonna swoop in and take over. And fucking John Kerry will be the fucking climate czar of Mexico somehow.
Yeah. Speaking of that, John Kerry was not a good. He was not a smart. He wasn't a good student. Like people always talk about how George Bush was like a C student. So was John Kerry. John Kerry wasn't like a smart guy. The brightest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He also looks like the bad guy in the movie Reanimator.
Yeah.
The actor David Gale. That's what he looks like. Oh, here we go. That's a good picture. See if I can zoom in on that. Do you guys like Reanimator? Do you like the horror movie Reanimator? That's John Kerry right here.
So all of a sudden when we start talking about this, like the internet starts messing up. But yeah, she's a very Sheinbaum is very World Economic Forum connected.
Of course.
Yeah. It's when you talk about this stuff, people were like, "Oh, here we go." They kind of roll their eyes at you. But
then my question then is like, what the fuck do you know about Mexico?
Yeah. I mean, what do I know about Mexico?
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, even if you're like, conservatives are fucking gay and I hate them, Do you think there's a problem at the border? And if so, whose problem is that?
Yeah.
Is that a lack of governance by the country of Mexico?
Yeah. Yeah, because
working in collaboration with America to just, at least the federal government, to leave the fucking border. Like, what? Why is Mexico never mentioned ever in any type of media of like, why is your fucking border open? Mm-hmm. You ever notice that? No one talks about that. Even the most fucking Steve Bannon doesn't talk about that shit. No one ever talks about that. No one's like,
well, I know their southern border is really fucked up.
If people were just coming from America to fucking Canada, you'd fucking hear about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
No one talks about it.
I think they come from. I don't think they're coming from the south because they definitely don't like the Guatemalans. I've heard this from Guatemalans.
There's a lot of there's a lot of Venezuelans. There's a lot of people from Africa. There's a lot of people from China and things like that. But
Iranians,
no one's like, Mexico. What the fuck are you doing? I'm sure people are asking that, but you never see anyone call anyone out like Jewish lady who's running Mexico. Why the fuck is your northern border just full of holes? Why is it Swiss cheese? No one openly asks that. Nobody, even the fucking annoying people. Fucking Crowder's not asking that. Fucking Glenn Beck, no one asks that. Everyone's
that's true.
What the problem
How are they getting in there? Yeah, you're right.
Biden leaving the border open. I'm like, yeah, but it takes two to tango. What is Mexico doing? Are we not fucking sending them a fax being like, bro, we got New York is a lot of immigrants here.
Yeah.
Can you guys fucking help us stem the tide? And they're not doing it. So it's like, well, why?
Yeah.
What is Mexico doing? What the fuck is Mexico doing? Why don't we know? And people defer to like, well, fucking cartels control the government in Mexico. I'm like, well, then we should be talking about that.
Yeah, that seems like a big issue, especially when most of our drugs that are killing people here with fentanyl, that's all coming from Mexico. And where are they getting that fentanyl from? From China.
They're getting it from the great country of China.
Yeah.
Donald Trump don't trust China. China is asshole.
Do you still have the map of that? Like you were able to hit the right button.
Right in the pussy.
What?
You're able to get the right button. I was like, yeah. I was thinking, is he gonna hit the right button for China's asshole?
Of course, that's an old school button here.
Very impressive. Very impressive, sir.
Very impressive. Okay, you're not dealing with morons here.
Don't trust China. China is asshole.
Yeah. So
Why are you gay?
We have a big issue on the border, and like people on the left are just saying like, oh, they're only talking about it because they don't want Mexicans here. It's like it's not just Mexicans. Also, it's a country. It's a third world country right now that is in the middle of a drug war. Yeah. First off, second of all, these aren't just Mexicans. There are Africans, there are Chinese, there's Iranians. They're like it's literally an invasion, and they're afraid to say it's an invasion.
Womb Raider says Eric Weinstein talks about this, and if you watch Red Bar, he refers to Eric Weinstein as warts. Which he spells WROUGHTTZ silent JS warts.
Oh man, fucking Red Bar. That guy's a legend. I can't get enough of him. He's so good. He's so good at what he does.
I'm a Scars Club member, so you know.
When
warts. Every time I hear Eric Weinstein, I hear warts in my head.
When I get a new gig, that I got to become a Scars Club member because he's fucking great.
Yeah, it's worth it.
He does 10 hours. God damn, he did 10 hours in his last episode.
Yeah, it's good. I'm not even done watching the last episode.
Yeah, because there's so much content in it.
It's long. Yeah. It's very long.
Let's get out of here pretty soon. How you feeling?
I feel good.
Yeah. You got anything you want to promote before we get out of here?
Just the my podcast, the Skeleton Factory podcast. Also, I have episodes on Patreon at patreon.com/Skeleton Factory. Tons of free content, audio episodes. There's some video stuff up there, and you can support the show there if you like movies, if you like cult films, documentaries, horror films, and you love the soothing sound of my voice. There's plenty of that over there at patreon.com/Skeleton Factory. You can follow me on Instagram at skeleton_factory. And if you have any questions for me, direct them there. I'm also on Twitter at SFPodcastATX.
Yes. Yeah, check out Conman Explains. Go just put him. I'll put everything in the show notes. I just put out last week. I put out the Challenger Explosion episode, so definitely go check that out. I had a lot of fun with that one. It's like two different conspiracy theories in one. I feel really good about it. Of course, every episode gets a little better with the editing. It's a longer episode. It's like 40 minutes. I try to keep them like around under 30 minutes, but that one was 40 minutes because there's so much stuff in there. So and basically what I do on Comment Explains is I will take these conspiracies and I'll go really fucking deep into these rabbit holes, and sometimes I can debunk some of the stuff we're talking about. So like it's actually a really good tool if you are if you're trying to explain a conspiracy theory to somebody. I'm not the type where I'm just trying to debunk everything, but if there's like something where I can't find it, or the conspiracy doesn't make any sense, I'm just gonna tell you how I really feel. I'm not the type where I'm just gonna believe everything. Like, oh yeah, aliens, yeah, I'm gonna believe aliens. But that
it's like a Robin Williams impression you just did there. Oh, hey, look, it's a UFO. I'm gonna make it into a hat.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But yeah, go check that out. I've done I've done 4 episodes on that, and they take forever to make. So definitely go and support it. I think you guys will enjoy it. They're like mini documentaries, and yeah. Also, patreon.com/comment podcast. Instagram con_man_podcast. Go out there, even though Instagram is totally trying to fuck my whatever I'm doing over there. I called Eli gay on one of his posts, and they fucking Eli Halpern, if you guys don't know. I told Eli that he was gay on one of his posts, and they almost took my account down. It was crazy. I was saying it in love. I was like, what you said was gay. And he knew it was gay. And fucking Instagram came after me. What the hell, Instagram? Also, go to Discord. I'll put the permanent link in here. Thank you guys for, if you're listening to this live, thank you guys. Frightening Me, Womb Raider, Mike. Who else is in here? Who else is, we got Womb Raider and Frightening Me. He had a whole conversation. And David J, of course. David J's always good. Mr. Leal. Yeah. That's it, guys. That's all I got. See you later.
Have a good evening. Bye-bye.